Hey guys, welcome back to SLT Learning, and this is Ankit Prajapati, and today we're gonna cover another questions on Selenium for QA automation job role. So if you are preparing for a QA automation engineer, okay, I would suggest just go through these videos. We are continuously uploading the list of commonly asked questions by the different MNC, and based on the feedback that we receive from our candidate, what questions that the company has asked them in automation interviews. Okay, so for today, let's we see which questions we're gonna cover today. So explain your automation framework in detail. Yeah, this is one of the crucial questions, and I have already created one video for the similar way. For the similar, I will just is the explanation for the key component of the automation framework. But over here, we will see how it gonna affect overall folder structure and the process of the automation. Okay, so we will go in deeper about the folder structure, how the folder structure will look like for any. When we talk about automation, it could be the anyone. Okay, like it could be the it applicable to Cypress, Playwright, or the I will just say the PayTest or anything for Selenium and anything. Okay, so let's we talk about that in detail. So most of the times when they ask you, right, explain the automation framework, I will suggest just go with this. What I in my project I use the hybrid test automation framework. So what is hybrid, right? Hybrid, as the name suggests, it could be the combination. It could be the combination of the keyword driven and the data driven framework, which has the POM, like the page object model design pattern implemented. If you want to see in detail about this, what is keyword driven, what is data driven, then I have created one of the webinar. You can just refer that webinar where I have explained in detail how the data driven work, how the keyword driven work. Okay, but in simple terms, we follow the hybrid framework where we have the combination of the data driven, where we try to fetch the data from the different data source, and the keyword driven where we create the keyword related libraries for our particular framework. Then I will just say it says modular design. Okay, so in terms of the logging and reporting purpose, we also follow certain process where we have the separate things for reporting and the logging and the different utilities as a key component of the framework. So let's we talk about how the folder structure will look like. Okay, so let's consider this is your project root directory. Okay, and for that one, what kind of folders you will have? You will have a test case folder, so it will have all the test script over there. It could be the, and then subfolder could be the web test script and then the mobile test script. The similar way, the page object, right, you can create the page object classes with the different folder, web and mobile. You will have a resource folder where you will have config.property file where you have environment config related data. Then you can have a test data folder where you can store your all the test data for your automation script. Then you will have locators. It is optional because most of the time the locator will be come under the page object classes, but the locator, suppose certain locators that you need to use throughout your application in a different way, you can also store the locators. Then the driver related class, like let's suppose nowadays we have the drivers, we normally call it directly, but in the past as well we need to download the driver files and we need to store somewhere, so you can create a drivers folder over there. Then the utilities, I will just say, is the screenshot utilities, then Excel utilities, then wait until utilities, those kind of the Java class which has the predefined, and these are the utilities are very useful. So suppose if you are working on one project, okay, and where you have learned about this utility, I would suggest just keep that things with you on your somewhere personal drives, or ask your team lead to let that utility with you, because this utility will help out on other project as well, in other organization as well. Okay, so utility class you can just create. Then the base class, I will just say, is the base class initially you can include in a page object model, or you can test script test cases as well, but it will always recommended to create the base class in a base folder itself. Okay, then you will have a report folder where you can put all the execution reports. Then you will have a log folder where you can put all the logging related information. Then the pom.xml, right, that is the heart of the, I will just say, is the maven. So that particular things you can use, or build.gradle you can use if you're going with a gradle. Then where you can put all your dependencies or your plugins and all those things that you're going to use throughout your application. Then for testng, you can use testng.xml where you can do certain amazing things with using the testng, like parallel execution, then parameterization of the few of the field and all those things. So this is how the folder structure and the overall framework should look like. If you speak like this way, it will definitely give you full marks, because these are the key folder you can see on any automation tools and technology. Okay, either you're working on Cypress or Playwright or something like that way. So it's good to explain like that way. Then let's we talk about more on how the web automation flow work in Selenium. We are considering the Selenium as our key over here. So first what you need to do, you need to just initialize the WebDriver, okay, in a base test web class, right? Then load the config related like browser information, URL and timeout and all those things. Then we need to use the POM class to interact with the UI. Then we use the POM related class, like whatever the method we have, whatever the locators we have, then we will create the POM class and to write our test cases. Then if you are going with the data driven, then we read the data from the external files, then we put some assertions like validation, what exactly the expected and versus actual. Then we take a report, we create a report, we take a screenshot in case of failure. So this is the normal, I will just say, is the workflow for web automation in Selenium will look like. And this is all good to remember this tip. This will help you to answer the question in the right way, okay, step by step. Now let's we go to the next steps, like mobile automation flow, how the Appium things will be work. It is almost similar but little bit different. So first you need to initialize the Appium drivers in a BaseTestMobile.java or any Java class that for base you have used. Then use desiredCapability. This is very useful over here, like a config, but you need to use desiredCapability to set up the platforms, device and app related information. Then run your test on emulator, real device or the cloud applications that you want to execute your mobile app on a different platforms. Then use the PageFactory or mobile specific locators like UIAutomator. This is one of the Appium related locators that will help you to find the locators and place the locators in your automation script. Then touch related actions, then swipe, gesture and all those things you can do via TouchAction class. You need to make sure, because you are working on a mobile application, you need to make sure you will cover the touch related scenario, swipe related scenario and all those things, okay. And at the end you can do the assertions, validations, and you can put the reports in a report folder, take a screenshot or video or log, whatever required. In case of the failure, you can just capture those information. So these are the two way, and this is how you can explain your framework in nutshell. So I will just say this is one of the question you should always practice, okay, with respect to your project, because if you are applying for automation, they will definitely ask this question to you guys, okay. So if you like this video, please share to your team or your colleague who is preparing for the interview, and please subscribe to our channel. We will keep coming with the more videos like this way.